I'm Army Sergeant Bill Washburn, and welcome to the Desert Vision. Coming up on this edition, Inherent Resolve Coalition partners memorialize an ally's fallen, and wounded warriors return to the battlefield. May's National Physical Fitness and Sports Month, so we're kicking it off on a grass field in the middle of the desert. We meet a couple soldiers who are part of an international coalition that faced off against a local rival.
We got together and we played the Kuwait City Scorpions in rugby.
It's amazing. There's no other feeling. I mean, with rugby and the military, military, there's camaraderie, and then there's rugby, which is more camaraderie. So it's great. It's a great feeling. Hard work. That's what it took to get us here.
And to my Eagles, this is the last 6 weeks training for this and getting coached up. Everyone put in 100%.
I honestly didn't think I would be playing rugby out here. It just kind of happened. A guy named Captain Chris Miles was out here before me. He's the one who helped kind of start it, and then from there it just kind of took off.
Outstanding time, good environment, good weather, good camaraderie, and good friendship. We got some good new friends, and long-lasting memories that people can take back to their home states and talk about stuff they did in Arif John.
All right, let your heart out on this pitch. Last 20 freaking minutes. Let's do it. All right. Eagles on 3. 1, 2, 3. Eagles!
The United States Army Reserve celebrated its 107th birthday in April. The celebration kicked off with a 5K fun run, followed later in the evening by a mass re-enlistment and cake-cutting ceremony. On the 23rd of April 1908, Congress created the Medical Reserve Corps, which is the official predecessor to the Army Reserve. After World War I, Congress reorganized the American land forces and created the reserve as a peacetime pool of officers and enlisted men for use in the war. The 335th Signal Commander, Brigadier General Garrett Yee, says it's an honor to serve.
It doesn't matter if you're Army Reserve or active duty. When we serve out here, we're doing our job. And so what it means to me is that when needed by my country, I can serve.
He also said re-enlisting is a big commitment because it's not only the soldiers who serve, but their families as well. When we come back, the Australians celebrate their Memorial Day and wounded warriors return to the battlefield.
I will condemn acts of sexual harassment.
I will condemn acts of sexual harassment.
I will not condone obscene gestures, language, or behavior.
I will not condone obscene gestures, language, or behavior.
I will intervene whenever I see potentially dangerous situations.
I will have the courage to confront my peers when their judgment is impaired.
I will have the courage to confront my peers when their judgment is impaired.
I will create an environment where respect is the norm.
And sexual assault and sexual harassment are not tolerated.
Eliminate sexual assault. Know your part. Do your part.
The scars of war run deep. Some scars are physical, some are not. The Troops First organization runs a program called Operation Proper Exit. Troops First brought several wounded warriors to Afghanistan, including Medal of Honor recipients Army Master Sergeant Leroy Petrie and Marine Corporal Kyle Carpenter, so that they can leave under their own terms. After returning from Afghanistan, a surprise awaited a couple of the Rangers. Army Sergeant Sean Breen was brought in to see his former squad mates. Sergeant Breen hasn't seen his buddies in over a year, but explained what it means to be a Ranger.
The 75th Ranger Regiment's a really tight bond. Even if you've left it, it's always going to be a part of your life, regardless of whatever you do. You always define yourself as a Ranger. I couldn't tell you where exactly this outpouring of love, but it comes directly from the pride in being a Ranger.
The men had a couple of days at Camp Arif John to visit troops. They held a town hall where they discussed what happened to them.
Left there in September 2008 on a C-17, strapped to the backboard.
Thanked the soldiers and Marines for their service and took questions from the crowd. A nurse stood up and told the guys that she's been with soldiers after they were injured and even when they took their last breath, but she never gets to see them after recovery. That's when Sergeant Block stood up from the table and left the stage to give her a hug. Coming up after the break, a Resiliency Expo on Camp Arif John teaches soldiers how to stay fit, and the CJTF honors an ally's fallen heroes. You might think it won't happen to you, but accidents are inevitable. They won't happen at a convenient time either. Army Emergency Relief's there for you when you need it. On top of helping active and retired soldiers in times of need, AER also provides scholarships to soldiers and family members. From now until May 15th, AER is asking for your donations so they can keep helping us. AER, Soldiers Helping Soldiers. Go to aerhq.org for more information. The rugby game we featured earlier in the show highlights at least two pillars of the comprehensive soldier and family fitness program, namely physical and social. Camp Arif John hosted an event that focused on those and a few others. Army Staff Sergeant Frank Brown explains.
At the 5th Annual Resiliency Expo, more than 1,500 service members and civilians drew a little bit of inspiration, or at least information, from programs throughout Camp Arif John.
We've had a very good flow of soldiers and other service members coming through, and we've had some very good feedback that a lot of good information has been obtained.
40 vendors took part in the expo, ranging from runners to warriors to...
They're very willing to help us, and they are here for us. They made that very evident.
And those who had questions about nutrition looked no further than the talking pea.
I'm willing to dress up as a bee. I love nutrition. I'm all about it. I could talk about it all day.
And of course, no Resiliency Expo could be complete without, you guessed it.
Oh, it is. Zoom is great. I've done it before with my daughter, and it's a great experience out here doing this with a whole bunch of folks I don't know, so I'm not entirely embarrassed.
From Camp Arif John, Kuwait, I'm Army Sergeant Frank Brown.
America's Memorial Day is reserved to honor and remember our country's fallen. Many Memorial Day type celebrations the world over revolve around military conquests and also defeats. Australia and New Zealand are no different. 2015 is the centennial anniversary of the landing at Gallipoli by the Australian-New Zealand Army Corps, also known as ANZAC. At a pre-dawn ceremony on the beach, deployed Aussies and New Zealanders, also known as Kiwis, along with Combined Joint Task Force, Operation Inherent Resolve coalition partners, took part in commemorating the service and sacrifice of the fallen ANZACs. On a windy and relatively cold morning on the shores of the Arabian Gulf, former enemies, now allies, honored their fallen. ANZAC Day is similar to America's Memorial Day. It encompasses all Australian and New Zealand soldiers, airmen, and sailors who made the ultimate sacrifice. The day itself is the anniversary of the landing on Gallipoli by the Australian and New Zealand militaries to fight the Ottoman Empire during World War I. The landing on Gallipoli had been planned as a bold strike to knock the empire out of the war. However, the campaign turned into a stalemate and both sides suffered heavy casualties. Australia and New Zealand alone suffered over 10,000 casualties combined. During the memorial, several speakers gave a brief history on the battle, giving the point of view from their country. Ambassador of the Republic of Turkey, His Excellency Murat Temir, quoted Mustafa Kemal Ataturk's tribute to the lost. "Wipe away your tears. Your sons are now lying in our bosom and are at peace. Having lost their lives on this land, they have become our sons as well. A poignant reminder that even former enemies can eventually become friends." Don't forget that May 8th is Military Spouse Day, so make sure you call home and tell your spouse how much you appreciate their sacrifice. That's going to do it for this edition of the Desert Vision. For these stories and more, make sure to check out our Facebook page and YouTube channel. I'm Army Sergeant Bill Washburn. Thanks for watching.